say you want a leader, but you can't seem to make up your mind.
I wouldn't even go in the pub where them lights are.
Oh,
because they drive you mad, don't they?
You are listening to 3345 West on Flat FM with Joe Kelly. The best of electronica, indie and avant-garde. 3345 West is best. 3345 West is best.
3345 West Flirt FM Joe Kelly. 33 zu 45 West Flirt FM Joe Kelly. 35 West Flirt FM Joe Kelly.
33 to 45 West Flirt FM Joe Kelly.
Yes, Falcheroy, you're very welcome back to another episode of the 3345 West show here live on Flirt FM. So this week is a good week. Yeah, it's beginning to feel more like spring. It is cold, but it's mild, and that's a sure sign of March. And soon enough, the day the sun in April 15th will be among us, or upon us, should I say? The North Koreans aren't that silly. You know, that's the day they have their big parade. The day of the sun, the April 15th. So I think it's called Saint Leo's Day, if I'm not mistaken, in some parts of this country. And yeah, in a shark, it was Saint Leo's Day, and April 15th was a big day for those people because that's when the sun returned. And of course they celebrated the celebration of Saint Leo. But the people of Inishark, there's nobody living there now. And there's nobody living there at all now. But the people of Inishark, they were great people to row boats and great people to dance. Like it's been said that when musicians went in a shark, they used to dance for 3 days. That's no word of a lie. 3 days non-stop. Yeah, so there was a lot of dancing going on in this country, dance music going on in this country for a long time ago. You know, so I suppose I'm moving it into the next phase. I'll get on to that as well. It'll be part of the show here. It's kind of a thread of the show is moving progress, and also the difference between genre popularity and what is. I know that sounds very ambiguous right now, but bear with me and I'll explain it. So this week's premiere, I've made another new tune. Now, I've kind of made an every man's tune, or should I say more politically correct, every person's tune in this day and age. I mean, that's talking about moving on and progress. Yeah, so it's an every person's tune, really, in a lot of ways. I think it is. It's called Salon Electrique. It's got a lot of strings. It's classical to a degree. It's kind of classical with house music in a lot of ways. So I thought it'd be nice to make a tune like that for kind of everyone. I know some people don't really like dance music, and it's not built for everyone, you know, and it's not made for everyone, you know, which leads me on to my response to Doodles86, who had a little go, I think, had a wee go at me, and said, "Oh, you're not going to be popular playing this kind of music. You're not going to be known wide. You're not going to be this." I don't want to be known wide. You know what I mean? This music is not for popularity's sake. You know, people that want to be popular, that's fair enough. That's their thing. But it's not my goal here. You know, the underground, this is underground music, whether you like it or not. And the underground, if everyone liked it, you know, it would be popular then. So it wouldn't be the underground anymore, would it? So it's better off to be off the beaten track. And like I said, this show, as it is in the tin, you know, it's the home of electronica, indie, and the avant-garde. And the avant-garde basically translate to the advanced view. So if you know your French, avant-garde would be the advanced view, or the advanced vision. So therefore, it's a vision of post-modernity. It's doing things a different way. So I don't even know any pop stars these days. I don't know them because it all sounds the same. It's all very manufactured. And I blame Louis Walsh and I blame Simon Cowell for all this story, you know, for trying to just turn something really artistic and artisan and turn it into some corporate bubblegum pop nonsense. But anyway, look, I'm not getting into that. I'm going to stick with the music, you know, right? I'm going to stick with the music. I'm still here, and there's other people like me still here, and we're still doing our bit in the corner. In our little corner, we're making our hay in our little corner, and we're producing good hay. is a metaphor for it, you know. Anyway, so Doodles 86, this is meant to be underground. This is meant to be tailored for a certain ear, for a certain taste. And to be popular is not really the goal of it. To be effective and to suit people who like it is the goal of it, you know. And to be to always try and find the postmodern way of doing things. So to find new ways of doing things, and new sounds and whatnot, or similar sounds that were of the modern. Anyway, so on to the premiere. So this tune is called Salon Electrique. So the salons of Europe were a place where people had moved on. They were a home of enlightenment. They were a home where people could express their artistic skills, such as poetry, music, storytelling, whatever it may be. People used to sit, you know, they get well dressed for it. They sit down in a nice, well-lit room. They may have something to eat, something to drink, and they'd listen to poetry, listen to music, and so on and so forth. So this was humanity moving forward. This was humanity moving forward, and this is no different. This is just another phase of humanity moving forward with artistic skill. That is all it is. So, without further ado, I'd like to present to you Salon Electrique by DJ Joshin, which is my stage name, or Joshin will just do. So enjoy for all of those with the strings.
New single Salon Electrique by Joshin, 3345 West, Flirt FM. New single Salon Electrique by Joshin, 3345 West, Flirt FM. New single Salon Electrique by Joshin, 3345 West, Flair FM. New single Salon Electrique by Joshin, 3345 West, Flirt FM.
Salon Electrique by Joshin. 3345 West, Flirt FM.
So that is my new single, Salon Electrique. So it's very kind of classical, yeah. So I put a classical edge on it. I like classical music myself. I always did. Well, I didn't always like classical music. Sorry, excuse me there. I only started to like classical music really when I went to Italy first. It was an awakening. I'm telling you. I went to Italy first in 2010. It was the first time I ever set foot in Italy, and I fell in love with it straight away. What a country. Great country. Yeah. Well, I mean, the economy's not great. Like, I lived there as well. And actually one of the places that I played my second gig in Milan is shut now. The coronavirus, they couldn't keep it going, and they shut it. Ligure and Via Padova. It was around the corner from me. I still live in Cimiano, and in Milano. I played a gig there, and I have a lovely cellar downstairs, like the Burgos, and it is on Augustin Street in Galway. It's like downstairs a cellar. Like, it was a great gig too. Like, I didn't think many would show up for it, but the place was full. The place was full. Yeah, I mean, I suppose it is Milan. It's a big city. Word got out fast that there was a bit of crack going on, and they all just flooded from Birrificio Lambrate all down to Ligure, which isn't far. It's not far. It's a 25 minutes walk. You don't want to walk through Udine to get through it. It's not too bad, but it's a bit of a trek. Like, they all walked down, and there was a good crowd in it. Maybe there was 100, 150 in it. But I played a few tunes in it, and it was great. It was a great time. Yeah, it was one of the best gigs I've ever played, and the Italians were such a warm crowd. I mean, man, I was hugged more times that night. I thought they were going to put foam in me and stitch me up as a teddy bear. I was just hugged by everyone. It was great. I really felt I was at home. I was a local in Cimiano. But my Italian is good too. My Italian was even better then. It was even stronger. I could speak fluently in Italian in the Italian language. No problem at all. I could understand everything. I could fling back with smart comments. I was quite funny as well at times, I suppose, when humour came through the language. Yeah, it was a great gig. I would have shut down, but I've been playing a few tunes to tribute to that because I get the feeling of the place it was. It was very European. And it was very Italo disco at times. I think I still owe the barman €13 there from the tab. It was great. You walk in, give us a beer, and they put it on your tab and you pay it the next day, like, no problem. But I think with the last night I was there, I had to rush back to Ireland. It was news. I had to rush back to Ireland anyway. But and then I went to Germany then, whereas I got engaged more or less. Jesus, yeah. Oh, Jesus, on a whim, like. You live and learn, I suppose. But anyway, that's another story. I don't want to get into that. So anyway, what I want to do next is I want to play a Trance Rewind, the classic trio. So this classic trio is an example, as I said before, of a very authentic part of underground music. I mean, it's not Alice DJ, You're Better Off Alone now, and the kind of stuff you'd hear. That's commercial trance. That's what it was considered, commercial trance. A load of old bunyuk at times. To me, I couldn't grow to like it. I had to get the meat. I couldn't have the watered down, diluted version of the commercial crap. I had to get the meat, and the meat I found was in the first three tunes of Sasha in San Francisco, the Global Underground CD2, the first three tunes on that. So what I'm going to do here tonight, or today, excuse me, what I'm going to do here, I don't know what time it is anymore. I'm disorientated. I really love a 9 to 5 again, so I would. It gets boring after a while. I love working and I stand up work to do. I hate it. It annoys me. I'm such a, go kind of person. Anyway, look, I suppose I'll deal with that when it comes, but, anyway, nonetheless, what I'm going to do is I'm going to emulate those three tunes. as best I can. Now, like I said last week, I could mess it up, but I didn't mess it up last week. I made a good job of it last week with Daft Punk, but this is tough as well. But these three tunes, they blend in well together, so he picked them well, and they're tough to mix. The second part is tough to mix. The first part shouldn't be a problem. But anyway, without further ado, I'm going to play that. I just want to get my whole configuration and calibration on form and on right to be right. Okay. Anyway, so without further ado, the next three tracks will be Narcotic Blue. Narcotic is the artist. It's a funny old name for it, I know. I wouldn't be one for those at all. And the tune is called Blue, and then I'm going to mix Der Dritte Raum, Entschuldigung Sie bitte, Der Dritte Raum, which basically means the third space. Raum in German means is space, so that's how they call it, the third space. But anyway, that's philosophy more than anything. So this is called Narcotic Blue, and then I'll mix in Luminatus Hope into Der Dritte Raum. Okay, so enjoy. This is the Trance Rewind excerpt of this show. Okay, listen to Joe Kelly here live on Flirt FM. The show is 3345 West.
listening to 3345 West on Flat FM with Joe Kelly. The best of electronica, indie and avant-garde, for Nawalia. Joe Kelly, 3345 West, Flat FM.
To 45 Westward FM Joe Kelly, 33. 33 to 45 Westward FM Joe Kelly,
3345 West Flirt FM Joe Kelly.
So that was the classic Trance trio. Yeah. That was Illuminati's Hope, the last tune you heard there. Now that would be what's considered, you know, trance, progressive trance in its purest form, not commercial stuff like Ready for the Launch and LSD, You Better Off Alone. Well, the list goes onwards. You know. Yeah, that's a good tune. That's a very well made tune. I don't really like the cover of that vinyl. I think it's got something to do with I don't know. It's all goats and stuff and triangles and upside down. I don't like that kind of thing, you know, because I'm a Christian. I don't really like to see that kind of thing. I think that those tunes could do quite the opposite. I think they're actually celebrating music in a lot of ways. You know, so whoever come up with that cover for, the vinyl, I suppose needs to have a good look at themselves. really need to examine your conscience is what you need to do. Of all things at 2 a.m. in the morning. Anyway, so we have next is the excerpt from Quinn's Werkoutvalt. Ja, Quinn's Werkoutvalt. Wie ist meine Papieren? Ja, ich habe meine Papieren jetzt. Ja, kein Problem. Ja, please. Bitte. Oh, I'm in trouble now. We've the next tune is from Quinn's Workout Vault, and that is what tune did he choose again? Nikolai, Ready to Move. That's tune he chose. Sorry, I'm all flustered here because I've got paper everywhere. But the next tune, I have the list of tunes, and I have written on the. Well, I don't do things to the computer because I don't believe in that. I like to mix things up as well. Do things the traditional way. Speaking of which, we might have Beats Finnegan and Grinder Lerner doing a set one of the days as well. If they get time, of course. The poor lads are overworked. But so the next track here is from Quinn's Workout Vault. This is Nikolai with Ready to Move. So you listen to Joe Kelly here live on Flirt FM. The show is 3345 West.
ready to flow. Ready to flow. And you're ready to flow.
Nikolai with Ready to Move, of when dance music became, popularized from the years 1991 to 1990, kind of 7, right? It became very chart laden. Like a lot of the dance tunes made it onto the charts. Like Atlantic Ocean Waterfall would be seen as commercial, but to me, that was one of the most classic trance tunes that was ever played. It was one of the first tunes I ever liked. It's what got me into it, actually. It was that tune. I got an old double cassette, or now 30, whatever the bloody hell it was. But Atlantic Ocean Waterfall stood out to me. And all the other ones used to be singing, that song, come on, oh no, I won't, you remember, that tune with the kind of the African fella, or African American fella. He was singing that song, and it was very popular. Everyone used to be singing that. I never really liked that tune, but Atlantic Ocean Waterfall really stood out to me, and it was great. And it was pure. It was from Holland, actually, so. Yeah, it had my ear, that stuff had my ear. But of course, I grew up with all this stuff. I grew up with the synth in the background. I grew up with all this stuff from American television. It was like, and European television. It's a good thing about the RTE. It's kind of this little merger between European and American television, including British, that is. So, it was very popular in the 1980s. When I was a child, all the songs on the radio were all that way. Then MTV came around. But anyway, to make a long story short, I'm going to play, to capture that as well, that Italo disco feel, to say goodbye to Ligura, one of my more favourite places in the world, whom I still owe €13 to, but you're shut down now, you're closed. I'm sorry to hear that. I had a great gig the time I played there, and I had some great nights up the road. Myself and a couple of others used to go there a lot, and I had a great night up there, a great few nights up there. But the night I played the gig was one of the best gigs I've ever played, ever. I played a few of them, and that was one of the best nights ever, best crowds ever. Really, Milan was great, and that side of Milan, Vita Padova, was great. I wanted to kind of play some of the tunes that I have on upstairs in the bar. Would be very old and very Italian disco. Everything was in red, as you do, and there was what you call it? There was kind of like that white tiger skin leather as well. It was pure 80s Milan. You couldn't get more 80s Milan than this. It was as Italian or Milanese as you get. When they had their heyday, they were very European. But anyway, this is Cleo Faces. You used to hear this tune in it a lot. The ladies used to love it. I mean, it's a bit handbaggy to me, but nonetheless, look, we have to play it to say goodbye to Ligura. So this is Cleo Faces. Yeah. Cleo with Faces. So that's. I'm going to play another tune actually to kind of, say goodbye to Lagira. It had such an influence on me, and it's one of those happy memories I have of my time in Milan. And when I lived there, it was a great place. And speaking of which, Inter 1-2-1 again on Thursday night, which is great. Last Thursday night, they're doing well. I think Inter are going to win the league again. And I used to go to the Inter games when I was in Milan, which was great. I want to give a big shout out to all those people in Birrificio Lambrate as well, because that's where I used to get my tickets. Stuart Brown and Andrew as well, he's from Middlesbrough, the two expats I used to have a beer with, and then of course with all the Italians as well, Luca Cignaco and Solo Benny calls himself. They're from Roa, they're from South Milan, they're more AC, but Stuart wasn't. Stuart was an Inter fan, and I was an Inter fan. I was an Inter fan. I was an Inter fan since I was 9 years of age when they showed Italian football on. Live on Network 2 on Monday nights. I was always an Inter fan. But anyway, so this tune was very popular as well in Lagira. It was from Tony Maniero. It was Bella Bella Ballerina, I think was the name of the tune. So this was awful. This is one of the love tunes of Lagira. They really knew how to enjoy their kind of, their synthy music as well. So without further ado, this is, Tony Maniero. Tony Maniero con Bella Ballerina. Una primo canzone tra la gira. So, molto purtroppo a chiudere la gira. Mi dispiace. However, we move on. And this tune is an Irish tune because I have to play an Irish tune. And this is Donnacha Costello. I might have time for one more tune now after this. So let me see. Yeah. So if I don't have time, I don't know what I'll do. I'll try and make time. I'll try and make time. Anyway, this is Donnacha Costello, and I'll sign off then throughout when Donnacha Costello is finished. All right.
When times are hard, this is when you learn to sing. When times are hard, you dance through your hard times. You sing through your hard times. You do art through your hard times. You express yourself in that way to express how difficult the times are. Times are hard, this is when you learn to sing. When times are hard, you dance through your hard times. You sing through your hard times. You do art through your hard times. You express yourself in that way to express how difficult the times are. Times are hard. Times are hard. Times are hard.
So that was Donnacha Costello there. That was a good tune, yeah, a very good tune, an Irish producer as well. So I'm going to have to sign off with this, guys. So for another week here, it's from Joe Kelly here in 3345 West and Flirt FM. It's been a pleasure again. I've had so much fun. Again, I've lost track of time. I've only got 3 minutes or so left. And I wanted to play this track. He's from Nottingham, this man. His name is Lone. And he's caught my ear as someone I like his tunes. I like his tunes a big time. So I sound all Italian now. Yeah, ooh, yeah. Spoke a bit of Italian. I talk like them now. Yeah. Hi. This is DJ Cesare. Bring the sounds of Southern Italy to your house. Yes. So I'm gonna sign off with that. From and again from me here, Joe Kelly, 3345 West, Salon Live, August Bannock to live, freshen, and I'm very sorry to hear Lagira is closing and whatnot. But look, you know that's progress for you. Sometimes it's a cruel game, capitalism. It's a cruel game. So until next week, yeah, you have a good time. It's getting closer, so you know, think positive, keep your chin up. It's getting there into the time of the year where it's, you know, more positive thoughts and stuff. So from me here, fino a prossime settimana, good gia shocked and until next week. Take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Okay, I'll talk to you then. Okay, bye bye.